Okay, so let's bring in our guest. Again, I mentioned earlier.
How cool is this that we get to do this on this show?
This is unreal.
Look how far technology's come. This used to just be like the news that would be able to do this. Now it's two idiots on the internet can bring on like a whole group of people that are experts in what they do and really good at this.
So you may remember we have three guests today. You remember our first Quincy Amarikwa. He was a MLS vet, great dude. We had him when we did the live show at Audi Field. He was there being awesome, being inspirational. Also, we are joined by Justin Morrow of Toronto FC. He did our TV show not too long ago. We got to talk about a lot of things. The game, the Black Players for Change Alliance, and also this is also very, very exciting. Probably I'm more excited than the other two. This is the first time we get to have our dear friend on the show, Nicole.
If I'm not mistaken, 2 years in a row we were in Chicago for her birthday.
Yeah, incredible how that worked out.
Only COVID stopped this.
How dare COVID? So let's please bring in our guest. Everyone say hello to our. I didn't get Justin. Had left, and I'm trying to get him back on.
And you left the chat up.
And I left the chat up. So let me get.
We were so close. He was so proud of himself when that switch was made. For those of you listening who are not watching, all of a sudden we switched screens. And Christian has this new Stream Deck, which is just a button you hit. When he did that, Justin Morrow was nowhere to be found. But now he's back. We're here. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the three, the only Quincy Amarikwa, Justin Morrow, Nicole.
Thank you guys for joining us. I know we have a lot to discuss. We'll talk about the main reason you guys are here, the Juneteenth project, the shirt that you guys are selling, obviously raising money for incredible and important organizations. We'll get to that in a moment, but let's just bring you on to the show, to what we're talking about, because obviously the Euros just ended, England losing to Italy in penalties.
Right.
And
how shocked are you that nothing racist happened afterwards?
Okay, Alexis, I have some news for you.
No. I have been living under a rock for the last few days, and I would prefer it to be this way.
I hate to spoil things for you, but is everyone? I got Nicole's. I think her screen has to like refresh or something. I don't know what's going on. Is everyone seeing what I'm seeing?
Yeah, it looks like she's in a pixel shower.
Yeah, I don't know what to do right now.
What is going on?
That way.
Can I refresh this?
I'm not sure, but I feel like she's trapped in a matrix, and I want to help her.
There it is.
There we go.
Oh, hey.
There's a glitch. Sports Card Direct said there's a glitch in the matrix. All right, so let's start with you, Justin. The Euros and this aftermath, this response.
Also, did you watch the Euro final?
No, I didn't watch it. I just found out afterwards.
Did you watch it? Okay. Because the reason I ask is I've talked to a few people, and everyone said when they realized that Marcus Rashford and Jadon Sancho has missed and up was coming up Saka, everyone who I've spoken to was like, oh, God, this is going to be a thing. Did you have that feeling as well? Because that's got to suck to have that pull you out of this moment and have to worry about race being an issue. And obviously it became one afterwards. But were you in that same boat? Did you have that same thought?
Alexis, it was a thing when he was subbing them on. I was so mad at Southgate. He subbed them on with 2 minutes left in the match. Right. I don't care how good you are at penalties. With the weight of the country on your shoulders in that moment, there's just no way. And I could look as Sancho and Rashford were standing on the sidelines to go in. They looked nervous because they knew what they were about to happen. You know, they knew that they were going in to take the penalty kicks. And when they were stepping up, each and every one of them, I was like, please, God, don't let this happen. Don't let them miss. And when all three of them missed, I knew what was happening after that.
It's so bad, too, because there is a history of England being bad at penalties to win things. And to put these three young men, I think let's start there. What are their ages are like, 21, 20, and 19, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah.
Granted, they're professionals, and I trust Saka with my life. There's just something about that guy. I'm an Arsenal fan. I just really believe he could do whatever. But to put them in that situation and then to have it be 3 black players in a row and have them be the ones that missed, everyone knew what was coming next. Quincy, I'm sure you were a part of this as well. You were watching. What do you think about what happened next? Because it was immediately everyone's worst nightmares came true because the English just found a way to step up to the plate at the wrong time here.
Oh, man. Yeah, I guess you guys know me a bit in terms of looking at it. If people didn't know, I've been a player of color in the U.S. soccer system my whole career. So you kind of, to Justin's point,
it would have been weird if you were Asian for the first few years,
right? For the first couple, and then I saw it wasn't working out too good. So I was like, let me join the black side.
Yeah, Dolezal your way through the next year.
Yeah, I think for me, it's unfortunate that I'm not surprised at all by it. And I think that's the issue and problem, right? So it's really saying okay, what's coming, so that means it's predictable. So in some sense, there's experience there that you gain. When I look at the young individuals who got to take, who I think of it positively, who got to take the penalties, right? Though this was a high pressure moment and situation for 3 very young, inexperienced men, this experience is something that they'll get to see an overwhelming positive response as a result of the negative experience. Whereas I feel the experience for many players of color throughout, my old timer history, right, being a veteran in the game, is that positive response never followed up with the negative, right? So I feel like that's where I'm very optimistic as to where we're at in the process. Our ability to have this conversation so quickly afterwards, to speak to the hopeful positives we can see from it, people better understand the issue, the work that the organizations have been doing over just the last year to get to this point in time, to where, under your guys' word, 2 idiots can be on the podcast, bringing people on and their friends and stuff to talk about big issues, but still have a good time and enjoy themselves. Because I think, to your point, Christian, you mentioned you can't get that real world stuff out of this game of soccer and football, no matter how much those racists might not want that to be true. Yeah. Hey, you got to find that balance, and that's what we're here to do. You want to get rid of us?
Yeah,
come on,
right?
Come on.
And from Nicole, I want to ask you a question. Can you defend white people here? I'm kidding.
No. That's why you're here, Nicole.
No. I
as a former black player, Nicole, what are your thoughts?
From at least, you are a person who, and Alexis and I have always said this to you. You are a person that we look up to, especially who has been in the game for a long time and really, especially in Chicago, kind of bringing people together, getting people connected to the Chicago Fire, creating this real community. And clearly that diversity and inclusion is an important thing to you. From that perspective, from where you almost have a little bit of a position of experience and authority, how is it that you handle kind of situations like this? Because this happens kind of everywhere. But what is the communication when you are talking to other supporters about how to kind of remove these issues from the game?
Well, I think the awesome thing with supporters culture, right, is that we all have the same beliefs and values in terms of the inclusivity and equality. So I don't know if there's any pep talks that need to be given. But I think one thing, especially I learned working with Quincy and Justin a lot, and is the word together and how important that is. Knowing all have play, and it's not just on the black players or the black supporters or black media, that it's on all of us to work together. Together we're stronger. And I think that's just important to remember that. And in times and this is not a black player issue, but when MLS players were almost going on their lockout, right, we knew that if we came together with the Players Association, that supporters and players, we could support them and just have a louder voice together. And so just that word together has really been emphasized to me over the last couple of months being with guys.
All right. Yeah, it is a. I think I was kind of joking about it before, but like it is the last few. I would say like the last year, 2 years, like it has become a thing we like. The fact that it's every week, I mean, there's no other way to put it. It is literally every week, every day. There's always another issue, and I think it was Tyrone Mings that had a great tweet. He retweeted some official in England that was basically condemning the racism, but then the week prior was condemning the players for kneeling.
Pretty Patel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is like the frustrating thing where he's calling out the thing that they say doesn't really exist. You know what I mean? Like they know why they're what they're fighting for and what their challenge is. And then as soon as it's so incredibly blatant, then that's when people want to hop on and be like, hey, well, okay, I see what you mean. That's bad. But it's like, well, don't condemn us when we're trying to, shine a light on these actual issues.
Or like the Miami Cubans who were against all the BLM protests, but all of a sudden Cubans are protesting and now it's okay. Now it's okay to loot because it's a thing you believe in. Yeah. And sorry, I hope my cousins hear that. I'm trying. I'll have my own Thanksgiving. I don't care. So, everybody getting flamed. Everybody getting flamed.
So and that kind of goes into why you guys are here as well. Let's talk a little bit about the Juneteenth project that you guys are working on. It is to
like help build awareness. And look, I don't have a ton of confidence that in my lifetime these things will end, but I hope that we can chip away at them to the point where they're like in the distance and we just don't even have to worry about it. And you guys are putting together something that's on that path, and I think this is wonderful. Why don't you guys give our fans an idea of what it is that you guys have done?
Well, I can start. I mean, Christian, to your point, this isn't something that's happened overnight. This has been going on for a long time now. Rashford was racially abused when he missed a big chance in the Europa final just recently, and it happened over here with Mark McKenzie at the Nations League final. So like this is something that's happening and something that really highlights the importance of what Black Players for Change and Independent Supporters Council came together to do, because it's really the first time that the players and the fans, supporters have connected like this before. And it was just really impactful to see it happen on this level. Juneteenth was our 1-year anniversary, in addition to it being such a big, important cultural holiday over here in North America and especially in the United States. So for the supporters to step up the way they did and really continue our message, that's what it was all about, showing that we're together in this, like Nicole's talking about, working on it hand in hand. I mean, we put in a lot of hours for like 6 weeks leading up to it, going over all the details. In addition to the shirts, we did something in stadium too. We had a lot of tifos in stadium, so we had to coordinate all of that, and it was just a really wide-ranging project. But I think that's where you move the needle a little bit, when you're talking about having these fans react this way in social media or even in stadium. Maybe we gain some perspective and some understanding here through some initiatives like this.
Okay. And speaking of just being a player, and there's a couple people who've mentioned this in the chat. Bay Area Guna said Saka will bounce back. He's a tough dude. For those of you who played, having a moment where everyone's watching and you do mess up, I mean, forget all of the racist tirade that comes after. Just that alone. What's that bounce back like for people that are watching that never play the game? What does it take to come back from a moment like that?
Quincy, you want to go? I got a good one.
Yeah, I could probably take that one. Let's talk to the guy whose brand is the MSL. Maybe we can talk to that guy on that one.
I just want to highlight one of Bay Area Guna just said, no joke, Quincy owes me $30 for making me spill my beers when he chipped Portland in San Jose. Okay, so finally people coming.
And I'll do it again too, bro. No problem. I'm glad I spilled your beer.
That was a great job, man. Honestly, yeah.
Oh, no, thank you guys. I appreciate it. I think, okay, That's a heavy question. That's a deep one you got there, right? But the way you bounce back is really the belief system you have in yourself. And I think that's really difficult to maintain and manage when you're putting yourself out there for criticism and scrutiny. And that's what you do every time you step on the soccer field, right? Because there's fans and people are there watching you, and you've got a coach there and a technical director and an ownership, and they all believe they understand what the game's supposed to look like and what you're supposed to do and what the right decision was and how, right? Everyone has all these expectations and decisions, but you're there, you're the one who's doing it, and you know your intentions and what you're doing it for. And the moments when you do make a mistake, and everybody does because we're all human, depending on how big of a platform you're trying to influence or to make an impact on, that's how far you'll fall when you do make those mistakes. So even what we kind of spoke to and touched on here, where I tend to hopefully always look at the positive attributes of the negative experience we're facing in the short term. In my lifetime, I've never seen the positive outbursts following the negativity, the speed at which I've seen it happen, right? So in my experience, that has never happened. And to a degree, there's a level of maybe jealousy in that not being the same for us, but an appreciation that means it should be different for my sons and my daughters and who comes after me, right? So when you're trying to navigate your ego and what it means to be human and to know that you make mistakes and you have biases at different stages in your life, trying to look at the bigger picture for the reasons beyond yourself for why you're doing it, and then try to try to project that empathy on those around you. So to Nicole's point, together there will be change. That's how we've been approaching it. We're all learning. We're all idiots and we're all geniuses in our own way, right? We all can participate. We can all choose not to participate. And that's
Speak for yourself, by the way. I'm just an idiot. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't need.
Well, there's a role in place for just the idiots. And we love you for it.
Don't put that genius label on Alexis. He don't want that.
I don't need that added stress.
No pets, no kids,
no smarts.
Listen, there's a quality of genius to total stupidity, right?
Yeah.
When you look at someone and you say, this guy, this girl, this person is a total idiot.
Yeah.
You better study that person because they figured something out.
They survived this long.
He's happy to be by himself on Thanksgiving. He's preparing for a future that looks great for him now, and you guys just can't see it.
It's
no trauma growing up in the hood without a dad. None at all.
Zero.
It's interesting what you say because of what is it? Sunday. The penalties are over. The immediate aftermath on social media.
And to what Quincy said, these guys are gutted.
Right.
They just missed penalties to win their country their first title in how many years? 55 years?
Yeah.
And they're already hurt.
And not just any country, right? It's football's coming home. We have to deal with, we call it soccer, and we get attacked on the internet by you know who, right? So it's like, a part of me is like, good for you for not winning, right? Because of all the kind of things we have to deal with. But then,
they did it for us.
Yeah. Thank you.
But I like what you said about like how quickly the response was of there was the negativity, but the response of positivity has been pretty incredible. Marcus Rashford wrote that long message about the incredible amount of positive messages that he has received.
And that's not the stuff that gets retweeted. That's not the stuff that gets screen capped. Right. I'm glad he highlighted that because it shows there are people that care, that reach out. It's the other folks that we worry about.
So look, and it's also the clubs themselves. You see Arsenal defending their player and really just
Tottenham. Tottenham put a photo of Harry Kane hugging Saka, saying it'll be okay. Yeah, I mean, and even Bay Area Guna said, I hate Harry Kane, but this statement supporting the guys was perfect. And that's the other thing that I think is new about this England team was how quickly the rest of the teammates came to their support. And hopefully shows the world you're the ones that are wrong here,
Right.
I think this is where, like, supporters too, like, it's our responsibility to call it out to learn, to do better. You know, the Marcus Rashford mural where all the fans are, you know, it's a small gesture, but its impact is like huge, right? So those are the things that as supporters and fans of the game that we need to do and to continue to put pressure on and take responsibility for, especially as a non-Black supporter.
Right. Yeah,
For sure.
And it's great to see that conversation of like kind of English fans, you know, calling out or taking responsibility in saying like, these are our supporters too, and we have to figure out how to handle these people and sort out like, why is this kind of okay to be like, just the fact that the discussion is happening at all, I think is some sign of growth. It's essentially a never-ending battle, but the fact that things are happening so fast, that the debates are happening so quickly, I feel like it's at least some sign of a positive change, and all the work that you guys are doing, even, you know, after the murder of George Floyd, the awareness, I feel like, has just been so drastic and dramatic, and some people are annoyed and frustrated and whatever, but these are the people that we have to confront.
And those people won't have me at Thanksgiving. I'm sorry, you were going to say, Justin.
I was just going to say, no, there's so many signs of hope. Like, I always thought it was interesting because England was taking the knee throughout the whole tournament. And I always thought it was interesting to see the teams that would partake in that and not. And Italy was one of the ones that was doing it. You know, they knelt with them before the final. And Italy's historically has had its own problems with racism, you know, and they didn't receive terrible pushback from their fans. Like, the English fans were like booing them, you know. So I thought even little things like that, I'm like, wow, you know, this conversation is coming along a little bit, and there's tons of signs all over the place.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit just about the Juneteenth, the shirt, what, you know, the plans around it, how it happened.
Dropping soon.
I know they're currently on pre-sale still, but yeah, just go over some of the details and let people know how they can get one and support.
Go ahead, Quincy, you want to start?
Yeah. Well, actually, Nicole, could you kick us off with kind of the designer of the tee, what inspired that, how you guys had reached out to us?
I thought you were going to say with a couple bars. I'm like, you want her to rap right now?
That's when I was talking to you guys and asking about the next show, so we could plan for her 16 cipher that she's about to drop.
I need a few shots more before I start doing any sort of singing. So yeah, I don't remember when we first reached out, but we reached out, wanted to do a collab. We had our annual conference, which was virtual in January. And we had a few, Justin was on, and Jaleel Anibaba, and some of the Black Player Association
Matt
guys
Watson.
from USL.
Matt Watson. Yep.
And the women from Black Players.
Women Collective. There's been a lot. Well, I guess to the point, there's been a lot of organizations. There's been a lot of buy-in. There's been a lot of conversations that are going on and happening at every level. And every person who has felt inspired or wanted to participate or to contribute in any way has been welcome, right? So again, like Nicole mentioned, together there will be change. That's our branded hashtag. Anybody, racist or not, who wants to learn, who wants to participate, who wants to play a part, even if the part is to talk about how dumb we are and what we're doing doesn't make sense, that's feedback that we need to understand where they stand, why they stand there, and how to reapproach and figure out ways in which we can continue to progress forward, but not leave people behind just because of their ideology or the color of their skin. You know, there's a lot of opportunity here for us to continue to progress forward, but be inclusive of everybody. And this T-shirt has been the way that we've been able to bring that together and bring it to market so people can understand what it stands for and represents, right? So the graphic tee is Celebrate Freedom. We launched it on the year anniversary of our organization, the coming together of these organizations, BPC, BWPC, USL, BPA, ISC. And every single supporters group who was involved in the project and participated and amplified in any way is represented on the back of the tee. All the proceeds from the campaign that you guys are bringing up on the screen right now will go towards the organizations and a future day of service. And this is just the first of hopefully a long-term, I won't even say hopefully, based on the collaboration and the transparent nature that everybody participated on this, I see this as a very long-term project and initiative. But this is the first time in history that we're bringing it together. We're talking about it, and we have something that represents the efforts of everybody that have been contributing to this, both on and off the field, for a long time now. So if anyone is interested or wanting to support, starting with this t-shirt is one way to do so. We have future opportunities for some clubhouses. We're also thinking of ways to be engaging with the community, giveaways, raffles, stuff similar to like the Blackout collection we did earlier that I think some fans are starting to receive as well too. So I think our organizations have been doing a lot of work and have been running 1,000 miles ahead, and we're excited to really highlight the fruits of some of the labor that's been happening behind the scenes, like Justin had mentioned, over time. So, hopefully that gives kind of a summary of what it is and what it represents and why we're doing pre-sales, and we'll continue that here moving forward.
Right.
Yeah, and to go back to the designer, we wanted a Black supporter to be involved with the design, and we all know how awesome of work that's being done in Madison, right? So we reached out to our friend Chris Fox, who's co-founder of Featherstone Flamingos, which is a Black culture supporters group out there, and he's part of the Flock. And so he came up with this idea to throw back to the Cross Colors, which is designer Carl Jones, and their motto, or his motto, was like clothing without prejudice. So those who were like around in the 90s and are familiar, that was his influence for the design.
Definitely not Christian and I. We're both 22 years old.
Same.
Keep that in mind, Hollywood. It is. It's a really dope design, and it's for a good cause. So why not do it? The chat has been slammed with that link. So click on that link, and right now it's pre-sale, and it becomes available on the 19th. Correct?
Well, I think we're going to be doing pre-sales for the next couple of weeks as we're getting orders in from everybody. And then from that, we'll be able to do the mass print run of that and get them sent out to everybody. Okay. So because we're doing everything, because we've been developing all of these new systems and processes and experiences for the first time, we've been doing so in a way that we can make sure everyone's participating and involved, and then be as efficient with our resources as possible, because we're waiting on that money to come. You know what I mean? Like a lot of these, right. You see, I saw MLB just drop that $150 million. I'm saying, hey, what's up, Don? Where's that? You know,
it's a lot of work. I mean, we've made like 2 or 3 shirts, and even getting like 60 shirts to people it's a nightmare.
So stressful.
But we absolutely applaud the work that you guys are doing. I know, the soccer community has not only inspired, but it's changed my perspective on how to contribute and how to help and how to give back, because the soccer communities are already like just so involved with things in their local communities that it's such an easy outlet and an easy place to go to get informed and to just be around with like-minded people that also want to help out. So
and give yourselves credit, you've made it easy for people to find out how to help, which I think for a lot of folks is a hurdle they wouldn't have taken prior. And you guys have really everyone, Black Players Collective, the Black Women's Players Coalition, and ISC, of course, and all the great work they do, and a lot of the supporters that are doing it independently. You've made it easy. You've given people like, look, here's a link. You want help? We made it easy for you. You don't got to Google anything. Click on this link and give us all your money. Buy a lot of shirts. Hand them out. I'm going to put them on the chairs on Thanksgiving because no one's going to be there. So I'll put them on all the empty chairs.
How come nobody's sitting in all the rainbow seats? You know? So look, you guys are the absolute best. Thank you so much for joining us. It's an honor. We're lucky to know you, call you friends, and keep doing amazing work. And and hopefully we'll see you guys at a game soon.
Absolutely. Put some claps in the chat.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
All right. Take care, guys.
Thanks so much.
All right.
Thank you very much. How wonderful is that?
How awesome was that? Thank you, Quincy Amarikwa, Justin Morrow, and Nicole Hack. Make sure you go to let me make sure I get the browser working.
Hey, thanks for the cheer. Whoever gave us that cheer, run amok 923. Thank you so much.
blackplayersforchange.org/Juneteenth.
You see the link in the chat? Just click on that.
Click on the link.